Live from WTOC, the Southeast News leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Well, we hope you're all staying nice and warm this Monday morning. We'd like to welcome you all to The News on WTOC Plus. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley, joined with meteorologist Andrew Gorton. Andrew, I wanted to start with some of the video from over the weekend. This is actually footage that Jamie Ertl got of the, I think we could say, historic snowfall in regards of back-to-back years, the first time this has happened in over a century in the Coastal Empire. Just wanted to look at these crazy visuals at Forsyth Park, ice on the fountain, snow in the bushes. I was at Tom Triplett Park yesterday and had to dodge a couple spots of ice. And, of course, Andrew, it's still a really chilly morning. The question on my mind, and I'm sure everyone else's minds, how long are these temperatures going to last?
I think this morning will be the coldest out of the next week. We get into tomorrow. Tomorrow's still a little chilly, but overall it's not so bad. So I'm going to have it all for you in the forecast. Let's take a look at it here. Morning low temperatures, it was very cold. You think about where we actually saw the most snow. Makes sense why it was 18 in Jasper County, 14 in Dublin. Some of that snowpack could have helped it get a little colder in the early morning hours. But now we see those temperatures have jumped up. Everybody's above freezing. We're on our way to a pretty decent afternoon. And the satellite and radar shows full sunshine. The satellite's turned on. You can't really see any clouds over our area. Not a bad thing. So current conditions pulling us up into the 40s here by lunchtime, 50s this afternoon. About going to be the high for today with that northwest wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour or so. So that's going to keep a little bit of a chill in the air. But overall, this is warmer than where we were at yesterday. It's going to be melting things. The only stuff that really sticks around is if it's in a nice, cool, shaded spot. Otherwise, we should see less and less of the white stuff. After school, for those kids that did go to school today, near 50, 3, 4, 5 o'clock with a westerly breeze that will be around as well. Forecast lows overnight into tomorrow, mentioning it will get cold once again. This is not a hard freeze, but you still should take those precautions along and west of I-95. So still going to be cold tomorrow morning. Big difference in the afternoon. 60s on Tuesday afternoon. Not mad about it. Even warmer there on a Wednesday, as we got some rain that's going to come in. So let's already look ahead to Wednesday. In the morning, seeing these showers start to pull in here from the west, and those are going to be working their way toward the coast through the morning into those midday hours. So this is a snapshot of what it could look like around 48 hours from now or so. These showers come on through. We need the rain. Some areas could get quarter inch, half an inch, and then some isolated showers just kind of moving out of the area as we get into those early morning hours on Thursday. Drier there as we get into the weekend. Just appreciate this. I feel like it's been a few weekends in a row where we might see something. Well, not this weekend. Looks great to get out there and just enjoy what we have to, the 60s. You can't be mad about that. One day that kind of got flipped over here, or looked over in the 70s Friday. It does look like behind that system we get colder again. A light freeze Friday morning, but really not too bad, near 60 in the afternoon, and not many frozen mornings, frozen Freds, if you will, in the 7-day forecast. So even looking in that extended forecast, I've got some words with the rodent. We've got warmer temperatures in your extended forecast, at least for now. It looks like the coldest air, more short-term, warmer air in that 10-day.
And Andrew, I do have to ask, we've been tracking a lot of, different local school closures today because of ice, especially in the more rural areas. Sure. With the temperatures we're seeing today, do you think whatever ice is still on the roads could ultimately melt this afternoon? Yeah,
I would think that kind of that window of slick roads is kind of behind us now. Okay. At least if it's not, it's about to be.
Glad to hear. I'm sick of seeing frozen Fred, so glad he's not in our forecast too much. All right, Andrew, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about this. This is a day that all meteorologists love because it's the one day a year, Andrew, where you have to compete against a groundhog. Take a look at this.
There is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
Well, Punxsutawney Phil has made his decision. The famous groundhog came out around 7:20 this morning and saw his shadow. That means 6 more weeks of winter. The first official Groundhog Day dates all the way back to 1887. Andrew, how do you feel about the prediction?
I think it's fun. I don't necessarily agree with it, but we're all individuals and we have our own opinions, and it's okay. It's all good fun. The fact that people take it to heart is interesting to me, but that's okay. If you're disappointed, I'm going to be here for you. If you need your forecast from somebody else.
Well, Andrew, I'll be honest. Our digital team did some numbers crunching, and Punxsutawney Phil, history's typically against him.
Yeah.
We looked at the top 19 groundhog days across America.
Wow.
This is how accurate they are. Staten Island Chuck, out of New York, he's right 85% of the time.
That's pretty good.
Number 2, the groundhog right here in Georgia, General Beauregard Lee. He's batting 80%.
Wow.
Then Lander Lill, which actually isn't a groundhog. It's a statue of a prairie dog in Wyoming.
Interesting.
75%. Punxsutawney Phil, number 17 out of 19. He's only right 35% of the time.
Well, a 350 batting average will get you into the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't think it's going to get you into the Weather Hall of Fame that doesn't exist.
Yeah. I will say this year, Punxsutawney Phil, Staten Island Chuck, and General Beauregard Lee, they all did see their shadows. So we're leaning heavy toward the 6 more weeks of winter.
The averages are either going to go all up or down.
Yeah, that's right.
So
all right.
It's all good fun. I think the meteorologists like to pick on the groundhog, but it's cute. Like I said earlier, talking with some folks, it boosts up the local economy to these places. It sells hotel rooms and things like that, especially for the smaller towns. It's all good fun. But remember, if you're trusting a groundhog on how to plan your day, just take a look inside. Okay? That's all I got to say.
All right. Wise words from Andrew Gordon. Andrew, thanks for joining us here on WTOC Plus. We are going to continue talking about the colder temps this morning because a lot of local law enforcement are warning you, especially for the morning commute and maybe if you're heading out to lunch shortly, to potentially still expect some slick roads. In South Carolina, the State Department of Public Safety wanted to remind folks that they're expecting some roads to worsen as temperatures stay low, especially again this morning. They warn drivers of black ice dangers on social media, saying to be on the lookout for any shady spots. They advise easing off the gas while driving and avoid sudden braking.
If you don't need to be out here, please do us a favor, help us out, stay off the roads. We need to get DOT, we need to out here and give them room to work and do what they need to do to get the roads back in good shape for the week coming. So if you don't need to be on the road, do us a favor, stay home, enjoy it, be with the family, stay warm.
Officials encourage drivers today to be cautious near crew workers and first responders. You want to make sure you just move over and give them some space. All right, and Chatham area transit services are back to normal today after being canceled over the weekend due to the snow and cold
temperatures. You don't need to be out here.
Quick note on that, the fixed routes, Mobility Paratransit, Savannah Bells Ferry, and the DOT shuttle, as well as the call center, are now back open. Again, they did close over the weekend due to the cold. We have some more details this morning after a fire that caused 12 people to be displaced in Savannah. It came after the Savannah Fire Department responded to that house fire just before noon Saturday afternoon. You're looking at stills taken from the scene. Firefighters say they did get the fire under control in less than 15 minutes. One person was transported by EMS after the fire. Stick with WTOC for updates. Moving now to the Crime Watch, happening right now. A jury trial is underway for a suspect charged with killing a man in Savannah 4 years ago. Jaheim Mitchell is accused of shooting 21-year-old Rashad Kinlaw back in October 2022 at the intersection of Mundy Street and Weldon Street. Now, Mitchell was 17 at the time of the shooting and was arrested weeks later in Martinez, Georgia, about 2.5 hours away. The trial was delayed from last fall due to a key witness for the state being unable to testify until now. Mitchell is in the Chatham County Superior Court. That started at 9:30 this morning. We will have updates as we learn more. In state news this morning, tributes are pouring in for a Gwinnett County police officer who was shot and killed in the line of duty. Another officer was shot and seriously hurt. Mary Kate Hamilton with our sister station has more from the Gwinnett County Police Headquarters.
A memorial here is growing after a Gwinnett County police officer was shot and killed in the line of duty on Sunday morning. Another officer shot and seriously injured. This morning, people are gathering, visibly emotional, and adding to the memorial on fallen officer Pradeep Timang's patrol car. The Gwinnett County Police Department says the fatal shooting was an unprovoked attack. The two officers were responding to a call that a man staying in a hotel in Stone Mountain was using a fraudulent credit card. What could have been a standard day for these two police officers turned deadly. The officer who died, Pradeep Timang from Nepal. He was just beginning his law enforcement career, a recent graduate who had been with the Gwinnett County Police Department for less than a year. His partner yesterday, Officer David Reed, also seriously injured. He was rushed into surgery. Donations for both families have flooded in, with members of the law enforcement community and civilians across Georgia and beyond thanking Timang for his service.
This moment calls for compassion and unity and reflection as we honor and mourn the loss of one of our officers and the officer who is recovering right now.
We have information on how to donate to both families up on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. Reporting in Gwinnett County, Mary Kate Hamilton, Atlanta News First.
Turning now to national news this morning, lawmakers are returning to Capitol Hill as the House of Representatives hopes to end the partial government shutdown that we are now in. The shutdown, which began after midnight Saturday morning, impacts multiple departments with closures that began over the weekend. The Senate passed a package Friday funding those agencies. However, the House must now pass the same legislation before it's sent to President Trump. If approved, it's set to fund each agency except the Department of Homeland Security through September. DHS funding is set to lapse again in 2 weeks as both parties debate current immigrations and customs enforcement tactics, with Democrats demanding more guardrails on ICE following the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. Staying in national news, changes made to SNAP are now in effect, and it could mean that millions of Americans lose their benefits. Passed last year, the Big Beautiful Bill added new work requirements that start now. Able-bodied adults without dependents must meet those to receive benefits beyond 3 months. The age limit rises from 54 to 64, and the child exemption age drops from 18 to 14. And flyers who do not have a real ID will now face a $45 fee from TSA. Other authorized forms of ID include a passport or Homeland Security Trusted Traveler Card. If you don't have any of those during security screenings, you'll have to purchase a temporary TSA Confirm ID that works for a 10-day travel period. In sports news, it's Monday, but we're already looking ahead to the weekend as the two teams for the Super Bowl have officially arrived in California ahead of the biggest game of the year for the NFL. The Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots flew into San Jose yesterday before Super Bowl 60. The rematch is 11 years in the making, and it'll happen inside Levi's Stadium. In addition to Bad Bunny performing the halftime show, Green Day will get everything started with an opening ceremony to mark the 60th anniversary of the big game. Charlie Puth will sing the national anthem, Brandy Carlisle will sing America the Beautiful, and Coco Jones lift every voice and sing. And speaking about singing, stars gathered for the Grammy Awards last night, marking music's biggest night with memorable performances and awards that made history. Bradley Blackburn has a recap.
Magic and music were in the air at the Grammys with performers from Lady Gaga to Bruno Mars. Billie Eilish won Song of the Year for Wildflower. Olivia Dean took home Best New Artist. And Kendrick Lamar, now the most winning rapper in Grammy history, received Record of the Year alongside SZA.
This is what music is about.
Lamar also making history as the first artist to win Record of the Year consecutively. Another big winner, Bad Bunny, who made history with the first Spanish-language album to win Album of the Year.
I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country to follow their dreams.
He was one of several stars who spoke out about immigration enforcement.
I'm going to say, eyes out.
Some wearing pins saying "Ice Out."
I would be remiss if I didn't say something about what's happening in the actual world.
The late Ozzy Osbourne was honored with an all-star tribute led by Post Malone, while Lauryn Hill returned to the Grammy stage for the first time in more than a quarter century to honor Roberta Flack. Trevor Noah was back hosting for a sixth and final time, and he presented Cher with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Never give up on your dream, no matter what happens.
Dreams realized for so many artists on music's biggest night. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
All right, and with that, we are going to wrap things up here for the news on WTOC Plus. We'd like to thank you all for making us part of your morning. We'll be back in just about 45 minutes for another round of stories during the news at noon. And in the meantime, you can always head on over to our website to catch the latest updates at WTOC.com. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and here's local news live.